run the program, the Ambassadors program this spring, in partnership with the cooperation support from the Rotary. And I would love her to share just a couple of minutes. Jeannette, just tell us about your experience. In particular, people are, you know, they really want to know from your perspective, your honest, I mean, you wouldn't be here if you didn't think it works for you. So if you could share just a couple of minutes, we'd be so grateful. And I don't know if you can throw your voice, if you're good at teacher.
And now my voice, my eyes.
Yeah. So we can just have a minute, and thank you, Jeannette.
Okay, thank you. So hello everybody. Yes, I'm Jeannette Garza. It's nice to see some faces I've seen through this process, and of course Richard, my husband's new BFF. Anyway, yes, I could really talk for hours and hours about this, but I'm going to sum this up in one sentence. This program works, and it is life-changing. Okay, that's what it is. And you know, I'm watching your new video part that I was like, oh, nice. Something's caught my eye. We need to talk. And so I'm sitting there watching that, and you know, you and Dave are presenting data, but we need to remember that data is telling us a story, and that story is about our kids. And so when I see data, I don't see numbers, I see faces, right? So I see my Ashleys and my Julies and my Lorenas and my Jorges and my, all kinds of kids who went through this program. And I tell this story, and I think people do not, sometimes they're like, how can that possibly be? But I have 900 witnesses at my school that saw this. We had, I'll tell George's story. That's the one you'd like me to tell? Okay. So George, I want you to think about this young man, very lost, not really connected to anything, third generation gangbanger, decided that school was not an option for him because his family was not going to let him have that option. But very smart, great soccer player, has those aspirations. George spent a lot of time in my office. We had a lot of discussions. Okay, George was suspended many times over his 6th and 7th grade year. This is now his 8th grade year. And so I got the phone call from Richard and Lisa, and they said, oh, about this program, and you know, it was a rough year. I don't know if any of you know educators, but it's been a few rough years, right? And so then, get this call, and oh, do you want to meet, da, 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 da. And I was like, oh, one more program, somebody wants to sell me, but okay. Something told me, you know how your gut instinct? And so, I'll never forget that first Zoom meeting. And it's Richard, and it's Eric, and it's Dave, and I don't know, like 20 other people, I'm sure. And I'm just like, and there's a few key words, and my brain, my heart, my gut, everything went, oh yeah. It took me 30, I tell them all the time, it took me 30 seconds to know this program was needed at our school. I just didn't tell them. I was like, oh, what else?
Make them sweat.
Exactly. And so, flash forward to the first that Eric's talked about our first big kickoff, and we had all these kids. Now, I was just explaining how our program, our school is 72% Hispanic, but more importantly, it's 73% socially and economically disadvantaged. Because that means these kids are not getting the things that a lot of us provided our children, right? You don't even think about it. Of course you're reading books to them when they're 2 and 3 years old. These kids don't have that. Their parents are out there working 2 and 3 jobs. So that's exactly what George is living. Older sisters, older brothers, again, third generation gangbanger. He was in special ed. He didn't turn in his work. He wanted nothing, no connections. Somehow, that very first kickoff, guess who was the first one to ask me to do the program?
Wow.
Yeah, it was George. Wow. By the time this program, and it's incredulous, right? What I'm about to tell you, I understand that. in those 10 weeks, George, who had failed every class in 6th and 7th grade, was passing all his classes.
Whoa.
He did not get less than a C. He worked himself out of special ed because he should have never been in special ed.
Wow.
Okay? But he was told from a young age, oh, you can't do it, you can't do it. Okay? The service component, we're all sitting there talking, and what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And we had a lot of tagging in our bathrooms, all kinds of great pictures and things. Anyway, and so George quietly came to us. Richard, you were there. George quietly came to us and said, Miss Garza, I know what we should do. And I said, what should we do? And he goes, let's paint the bathrooms, let's do murals, let's do all these things. Because taggers won't paint over what's painted and looks good. Now, George is an expert in this field, so I and so, lo and behold, not only was that project completed, George led it, designed it, and got all the rest of them behind him. And guess what we haven't had in 3 weeks of school? No tagging. I could talk forever. She doesn't have signs, but I'm afraid she might forget now.
Well, thank you so much.
Just talk to me. I'm happy to tell you anything about it. And thank you to Richard and the Rotary. Without you, it would not have happened.
Can I interrupt? Can I interrupt for a second?
Oh, you need permission? Okay, let me think about it. Yes, go.
Well, you may have been sitting here listening and talking about these stories, and if you have an interest in what you've seen and heard, and you wish you could take her to your friends, that's already been done. She did the video for me, and it's all been edited.
Wow.
And she basically said everything she said in less than 4 minutes in the video.
Wow.
And it's
Yes,
found,
thank you.
it's very quickly, it's found, you can remember this, ambassadorcompassion.com. It's in there, and actually you go into the one place where it says partners and it says legends. Click down on there, and you get down to resources, and it says educator. And her video is in there. Also, the video on George, I sent that to you. You haven't gotten back to me to say you
It's
approved it yet.
approved.
Oh, it is?
Wow.
Okay, good. Then we're going to have that George video in there as well. Just
Oh,
wanted- and then
nice.
she also did one with one more, it's just not completely finished. So I just wanted you to know that her work is available for you to take, and all you gotta do is you just simply copy the link, and you can send that link to anybody as an email or text message, and just like that, they can watch it.
And you can contact me for anything as well.
Wow.
Okay, there we go. All right.
Rich, can I say